Hey, welcome back to Gad's Kitchen. I'm Jen. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe that blew my mind. If you like arancini, or commonly known Sicilian rice balls, just you wait. Is there lots of hidden vegetables? Yes, there is. Does it taste like arancini? Yes, it does. Let's go! My passion is taking classic recipes and making them insanely nutritious, but still very delicious. If you like videos like this, guys, you gotta subscribe and hit that notification bell. It will give you one notification when I post a new video, which is once, sometimes twice a week. And if you're looking for more content, please check out my Instagram page. I have a ton of recipes on there. Now, arancinis are creamy risotto rice with a meat and pea filling, with a block of mozzarella cheese right in the middle, rolled into a ball, egg, breadcrumbs, deep fried, and served with marinara sauce. Let's be honest, a lot of comfort foods just aren't that nutritious. This actually gets better when you reheat it from frozen. So a great meal prep idea. Every time you pull it out of the freezer, you'll be like, yep, I did this. Let's go.
Okay, we've got lots of ingredients today in the filling or the ragu meat sauce section. We have plenty of vegetables hidden in there, 1 pound of good lean ground beef. And then the second group of ingredients is going to be what we put in the risotto, as well as the cauliflower breadcrumb topping, cauliflower rice breadcrumb topping. So I also have a mixture of ingredients, seasonings and stuff that I use pretty much every time. Get that Dutch oven nice and hot, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, 1 large onion diced or 2 small and salted. We're going to get that nice and tender. Add in our beef and break that up so that the pieces are nice and small. Give it a good mix and seasoning. And then we're going to wait till that browns. Oh, don't forget the chili flakes. So give it continue to break it as it's cooking so you get nice small pieces. Once the meat is browned, you're going to add your garlic. Now, sometimes before I add the garlic, I will drain the meat fat and just add in a bit of olive oil. I just prefer that fat. But in this case, because I'm adding so much vegetables, I kept it in this time. I'm adding a very large carrot and 2 celery stalks diced. And here's lots of seasoning, 2 teaspoons of good oregano. I find that one quite nice and strong. Teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of dry basil, and a handful of basil leaves. They're always handy to have around. We're also going to add in 1 green pepper, diced, and our grated very large zucchini. 2 small zucchinis will also do the trick. And just a whole bunch of mushrooms. Those are one of my favorite vegetables to put into something like this because they like to disappear and they add so many nutrients. So we're going to keep seasoning: salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. Very important when you're adding so many vegetables to season it well so that it tastes delicious. But we want to kind of hide the vegetables in this. So a little bit of Worcestershire sauce does the trick too. So now I'm going to start adding the tomato paste. As you can see, some big spoonfuls there of tomato paste. And we're going to allow that to mix in, cook down. It should look more like this. Make sure you give it a taste throughout. Always good to taste. It's looking perfect. I add another nice big tablespoon of tomato paste, just so it's a little more tomatoey. And while that cooks down, I'm going to grate my cauliflower. So I just use a hand grater. It does the trick. You can use a food processor if you like. And just before I take it off the heat, I'm going to add in some frozen peas and a few more. And basically just defrost them. And then I'm going to remove that mixture from my Dutch oven because I'm going to use it for my risotto. So a little bit of sauce in the pan doesn't hurt. You're going to add in some butter, very important with risotto, in my opinion. a big fan. We're gonna add in a small onion, 2 or 3 garlic cloves diced, and then we're gonna go in with our rice. What I like to do is get that rice coated in the seasoning and kind of toasting the rice at this point. I want the rice to start to change color to more clear. And cheers, guys. Always the best reason to be cooking with alcohol is to steal a sip here and there. So I actually use beer for my risotto. I don't love the flavor of white wine, and I don't often have it on hand, but I almost always have beer in the house. So I did about a cup of beer, and I'm using stock paste, so I'm just kind of mindful of the amount of water and paste I'm using. But you can pre-make it or use pre-made and just have it ready to go. You're going to need about twice as much stock as you have rice. And a scoop of the meat sauce just brings it all together. So risotto is a labor of love. You're going to be mixing, adding, tasting all throughout. Just making sure that the rice has enough fluid to keep sucking it up. And as long as it continues to suck it up, you're going to give it to it. But make sure you're tasting it along the way because you want it to be cooked, but still slightly al dente. So I did sneak in some spinach pucks in there. I went with frozen. And now we're going to make our cauliflower rice. So if you've never made it before, a nice hot pan is very important and no salt. So you're going to get a nice sizzle when you drop it in. And important you keep moving it around quite a bit. You don't want it to steam. Season that with garlic powder, onion powder, and oregano generously. But again, no salt because we do want it to keep its fluids to itself, if you know what I'm saying. Checking on the risotto. You want to make sure it doesn't burn on the bottom, so stir it often, guys. And as you can see, your cauliflower rice is getting nice and brown. Before we turn off the heat, we're going to add some breadcrumbs that help soak in some of the moisture. And that looks pretty good. It's hard to tell how much, but it really doubled in size. We're going to season it again and finish it off with some Parmigiano or Romano cheese. I use about 1/4 cup. You can use as much as you like. That's why it's important you don't use too much salt because the Romano is going to add a bunch. So here is our station, our building station. And I have a large casserole. I also filled a loaf pan. So I did both. It filled both. So just so you guys know, I didn't put it all in this one pan. So I'm going to line, I did spray the bottom of the pan as well. And I'm going to line the bottom with a nice good layer of risotto. Give that meat mixture a good mix and slop it in. Spread it out so it's a nice even layer, just like that. And cover it in your mozzarella cheese. I did not use too much. We love cheese, but it doesn't love us back. So then we're going to go with a layer of cauliflower rice, breadcrumbs, tomato, and basil. 375 for 20 minutes in the middle rack. And then you're going to take it out and put it under broil for a few minutes. And you know what? Don't put the tomatoes. It just made it a bit soggy. I would skip them all together.
I think it looks amazing. I'm so excited to eat this.
Okay guys, time to dig in. This is by far my favorite part. And if you don't know me by now, I put my hot peppers on everything. If I'm not sweating, I'm not happy. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. You can do whatever you like. Oh my goodness. It's like having an arancini without the guilt. As usual, down below in the description, you're gonna find the ingredients as well as some recipe tips and tricks. If you haven't done already, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for joining me again today, guys. I'm gonna get into this. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Cheers. I could sell this.